African Democratic Congress has expressed alarm over President Bola Tinubu's abrupt replacement of Nigeria's service chiefs, describing the move as unsettling and lacking transparency. The party said while the president has constitutional powers to make such changes, the timing and absence of explanation has heightened public anxiety amid rumors of an attempted coup. In a statement by his National Publicity Secretary, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, the ADC said the sweeping changes which affected officers appointed barely 2 years ago carried far-reaching implications for military stability. Abdullahi criticized what he described as the federal government's confused response to coup speculations, stressing that the situation demanded clarity and reassurance from the presidency. The opposition party warned that the reshuffle could deepen public suspicion and threaten confidence in the military hierarchy. It urged the Tinubu administration to provide a categorical explanation and focus on worsening insecurity across the country, cautioning that transparency and stability were essential to safeguard Nigeria's democracy. Ifeanyi Chukwu, what do you make of this story?
I align partially with ADC, because when they say that Mr. President is in a confused situation now, I wouldn't take that away from them. And for them to have called on Mr. President to state clearly, the reasons for which he suddenly reshuffled the security architectural heads in Nigeria, given the coup d'etat rumors that filtered in last week and last 2 weeks in Nigeria, and going by the cancellation of an elaborate ceremony marking the Nigerian Independence Day, and the rumors that we had also tied the cancellation to that particular coup rumor. Again, some 20 people have been picked. Remember that the government debunked the allegation or the rumor that there was a purported coup, failed coup attempt, but some people cooling their heels now in the security agencies' heels. It means that we could not wish that away. Then ADC holding the government accountable is why we are praying that Nigeria will not slide into a one-party system. PDP have not said anything about it, but ADC has spoken. Our Labour Party is still battling for survival. PDP is in comatose. Laurentia, I now come to agree with you. There was a time you made an expose that PDP is not even collapsing. It's like a car without engine at all. So PDP's soul and body is gone. I don't know whether they are where the spirit is there because they are still breathing a little, but under oxygen, and the oxygen is going to 5% level. So they have not spoken, and this is where you call those political opposition parties to hold government accountable. But Mr. President, I want to state that having changed the security architecture still owes Nigerians an explanation to the reason why there was sudden change in some of them. We saw the APC administration under the late Muhammadu Buhari. I think the former Chief of Army Staff, Brutai, was even one of the longest-serving army chiefs, Chief of Army Staff we saw in history. We saw some of his security chiefs outlive the tenure of Buhari. And with the swiftness with which Mr. President unceremoniously sent those security chiefs home is one that beats my imagination, And Laurentia leaving without questioning the chief of defense staff, his chief of defense staff, Minister for Defense, Matawale, and the NSA leaves much to be desired, because the NSA should have the intel of, or are they the people through whom they knew what happened, why they are still retaining their seats? Because if the security chiefs are gone, then the question will be, what are the NSA and the Minister for Defense still doing in their position?
That's a very good question.
That's a very penetrating question that occurred to me that I cannot wrap my mind around it, Laurentia. What are they still doing in the saddle? For there to be a coup attempt, accumulating towards the low-key celebration of Nigerian independence, and they're still in their saddle. We want to know what exactly transpired, and I join my voices with those of Nigerians and the ADC to Mr. President, this is not the one we can sweep under the carpet or call it a political, that it is a in-house routine or your prerogative. But we know that when it is your prerogative to appoint the chief of the security chiefs at your beck and call, and now this nepotism again reared its head, Laurentia. The person that is now the chief of army staff is coming from the southwest. Nepotism is still in this fray of the appointment. So we want a clarity and the reason why the security chiefs were suddenly asked to go, and some people are in detention answering some questions, Laurentia.
Now, the president said it is a routine administrative thing. You recall there was a time that President Tinubu also changed his cabinet, correct?
Yes.
So he did change his cabinet at some point, and some ministers were dropped, new ministers were brought in, and some were retained. And he would say, well, he retained some ministers in that particular shake-up.
Yes.
So probably it is also his prerogative to retain the people he feels he should retain. Isn't that
Laurentia, this particular one is not about political appointment. This has to go about the generality of the Nigerian safety. The defense of our territorial integrity. Remember that we are still battling with those security chiefs. Mr. President can come up with any narrative that the war on insurgency and the herdsmen is unabated. He has to say something, because he has given them all the assistance that they need. You recall that a few months ago he sat with them and they had a meeting and he appraised their service so far, and they talked about the new what do you call it? The new leg of their operational strategy that they're using to curtail those bandits and Boko Haram and ISWAP. He gave them thumbs up, and what now led to him unceremoniously dismissing them without any word to Nigerians. And that goes a long way to show us that either there is an external threat or there is internal incursion. So something must be a reason why a president will wake up one day and sack his security chiefs.
Well, one would say to a large extent, in line with the rumors of the alleged coup,
yes,
like you have mentioned, one would say that even if this shake-up was going to happen, because there were security concerns and the allegations of a failed coup, probably the government should, address Nigerians in order to douse tensions. ADC is saying that this shake-up by the president without clear explanation,
yes,
is giving credence to the possibility that that coup,
the rumors
were they true? Did they actually happen? Now you've brought a fresh perspective. Why is it that the chief of defense intelligence,
yes,
why wasn't he sacked as well?
Yes.
Why wasn't he sacked as well?
For defense and the NSA.
Why weren't they sacked as well? Because when you're looking at this, how did this, if let's just say, if these rumors were true and all of that, how were these alleged plotters even able to plot for a while,
yes,
close to the time of execution before it leaked? How come the chief of defense intelligence, he's the head,
yes,
of intelligence
in Nigeria
for defense in Nigeria, you know, and he's still sitting.
He's still sitting.
So,
and
but then it's at the discretion of the president.
Yes, but you could also remember that why the Nigerian police quickly went to court to curtail the Free Nnamdi Kanu now protests. Is we can now see why they try to restrict the protesters to some area, because Laurentia, from what I heard, you know that in this military circle, the coup is planned in stages. There could be other underground, you know, remnants that are the plan B set of them. So they didn't want them to breach the security parameters in the name of protests. Whatever freedom you have to protest, we are also asked to protect the territorial integrity and defend the government, which for me is apt because of the rumors and the way coups are planned. If you take time to understand it, you find out that those people, even when IBB was still on the saddle, you hear sometimes they say Oka's boys are still around. They will always use it to threaten IBB then. Though despite the fact that Oka has been caught, but they are remnants, like you said. So who knows those who have planned the coup? And remember that the unnamed governor from the south, which they said is a financier, has not been named. And nobody has picked him up. So does it mean that the intel that we got did not specify the former governor for the security agencies to pick him up and for questioning? Or are we speculating? Or is there something another person said? Leko just said that, is it not a ploy to clamp down on some voices that are against Mr. President, re-election, especially in the South or somewhere else? So the Mr. President owes us a lot of things, because a lot of speculations are going on, Laurentia, as I speak with you. So Mr. President has to come and clarify. Despite the fact that he also has to protect himself first to be alive, because he has to work with the people he trusts, like his main mention in our first topic. So Mr. President is now appointing those he can trust and those he can feel protected, because his office has to be protected first. Even when the national integrity, when the national territorial is being threatened, the office of the Mr. President must be seen to be protected at all times, and that is what he has done. And it is apt for him to have acted swiftly, not minding the back and forth, like we are saying it, but he owes us an explanation.